Inside this garage is the most amazing car we've ever found. Sitting for over 20 years with rust raining down on it, neglected and left to rot with only 21,000 original miles, we found a 2004 C5 Z06, and not only did we pull it out of this watery tomb, but we completely detailed it and attempted to fix this disaster. We replaced a bunch of parts and got it running, but we're left with one major question.
What do you think we should do with it, Mike?
There's only one thing to do with it.
Should we give it away?
We gotta give it
to
away.
one of them?
Have to.
All right, I guess we're gonna give it away. All right, Michael, lift with your back, not your legs. Oh, for you. Heavy. Oh, wow, ready? Holy crap. Oh my God.
Dude, this thing's sick.
This is the craziest thing we've ever found. This is a Z06. Oh my God. It's so wet in here.
It is very, very wet.
Should have wore boots.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea.
Look at this. Holy smoke, the car's still wet.
Dude.
It's in perfect condition. Oh my God.
I can't believe something like this is sitting here like that. Like,
wow. It's a hard top too. I prefer the hard top.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't gonna be a hard top.
I mean, look at this pattern of all the dirt, Mike, and all the rust.
Slowly dripping down.
Yeah, there must be a roof leak. Yeah. The condensation is building up on the other underside of the roof, and it's just raining rusty water onto the car.
It's a good thing this thing's fiberglass.
Yeah, really. It looks like it's gonna come out great.
It's gonna come out good. Wow. It's gonna come out good.
So Mike, we drove all the way from Cleveland to Massachusetts for this Z06, not because we're gonna be detailing it out here, but we're gonna take it back to Cleveland, clean it up, and then we're gonna give it away to one of you guys. In order to give this thing away, we are going to have to do a complete cosmetic restoration and mechanical restoration. So we are going to obviously start with what we do best by cleaning the car, polishing the car, pulling the interior out, making sure that everything looks brand new, and actually, we're gonna have to do a little bit more on the interior, but we'll get into that later. Then after, we're gonna have Adam from Power and Performance come and make sure it is completely mechanically sound, including new tires, new brakes, all fluids flushed, and the engine running strong, and everything working properly. That way, we can feel good about giving it to one of you guys, because again, this is a 2004 Z06 Corvette that is a hard top, which apparently only came on the Z06s, and it's one of the last analog Corvettes that were ever made. 405 horsepower, this thing is going to rip, and I can't wait to drive it myself and then to give it away to one of you guys. And if you guys are wondering how to win this car, what the giveaway entails, all you have to do is go to our website, wdautosupply.com, and purchase any of our detailing products or our merchandise. And right now, it is the best site-wide offer that we're going to be offering throughout this giveaway.
It's a 30 times multiplier,
which means every dollar you spend
gets 30 entries.
A $100 purchase gets
3,000 entries.
So if you want the chance to win this Corvette Z06, then head over to the website, purchase something. Again, it's the best site-wide multiplier we're gonna be doing for the whole entire giveaway. Although it looks like this right now, wait till you see what we have in store for this car by the end of this video. And now let's get the owner to get some backstory on the car. All right, now to get some backstory on the Corvette, we're here with the owner, Jim, who has owned this car since it was brand new, right?
Right, in 2004.
2004.
Brand new, right off the showroom floor.
Yeah, that's what you had said, and then it's been sitting here since, what?
2016.
Oh, 2016.
Yeah,
okay.
I drove it for a few years, and you know, I had medical problems and got sick and everything, and you know, of course, I'm all alone here, and the car got a little contaminated, but it's fine. It just needs a good cleaning and restoration.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's a fantastic car. I mean, it's the Corvette Z06. It's amazing that we're so lucky to have found it.
Found it, yeah.
Yeah, we're so thankful that you gave us the opportunity to purchase it and clean it up and do right by it. And I wanted to mention, so you actually had an interesting career that allowed you to purchase this car.
Oh,
Do you mind telling everyone at home what your career was? What your business was? Your business.
I was in the amusement business. I had a lot of amusement rides, like 50 amusement rides.
Wow.
That job was 7 days a week, long hours. You need to eat good, and you need to get a lot of rest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's the whole key there. You don't live in balance.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever you got to do, you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah, we try very hard to do so. We enjoy what we do, and we work very hard as well.
I know you guys do a good job.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Very good job. Yeah, when they get done with this car, it'll be as good as the day it came out of the factory.
That's always our goal.
Yeah.
I'm very excited that you get to, you'll be able to watch the video and see your car looking brand new again.
Right.
And then one lucky...
well, there'll be a lucky person out there to get it.
Yes, sir, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're going to love this car. And so one last question. Do you remember how fast you ever had this car up to?
The fastest I had it was about 150.
That's moving.
Yeah.
That is quick. I think the speedometer only goes up to like 180, maybe 200.
No, I don't even
220?
know.
I'll
Yeah,
have to look.
220.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was the fastest production car built in 04.
Wow. We won't be taking it that fast for sure. We got to make sure that
Well,
it's safe.
you never know. Maybe the people that win the car will get lucky and maybe they'll go on the car will handle a road.
Oh,
The
yeah.
car's made to handle high speeds.
Yes, sir. Especially this model right here.
Yeah.
And with the hardtop. It's
Right.
This is the car, and somehow we found it all the way in Massachusetts.
That's all right.
Yes, sir.
At least you found it.
We did.
Yeah.
We can't thank you enough for it, seriously.
Okay.
But now we got to figure out how we're going to get it out of here and into our trailer. All right, Mike, who's going to lay on the ground in the wet and get this jacket out of there? And
I don't want to do it. It's all wet.
Well, yeah, it is, but I'm wearing nice clothes.
My clothes aren't nice. My clothes are nice.
Rock, paper, scissors for it then.
For loser has to do that.
Yeah.
What, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah. How else do you do it?
I don't know. Some people go on last one. I don't know.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. He didn't even call best 2 out of 3. That's easy. Easy work. Mike, what do you think? What do you think it's going to look like under there? You think it's going to be rusty?
You know, I don't think it's gonna be too bad. Maybe like these rotors will have a little bit, but the rest of it should be painted. It should be good.
Ready?
Yep. 1, 2. Oh,
Let's
we
go.
can get it to go.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Wow.
Now, while we get the Corvette out of the garage, first I want to ask the question of the video, so leave your answers in the comments below. If you win this Corvette, what are you going to do to it? Are you going to keep it stock? Are you going to do some aftermarket parts? I do know it has a titanium exhaust on it from the factory, so that sounds pretty good. But I know everybody has different tastes when it comes to their car, so leave a comment what you would do. And also, if you guys could just hit the like button and subscribe to our channel on this video, it really helps us out. Plus, as this giveaway goes along, if you're not subscribed, you might miss some updates that we release that are important to the giveaway, so make sure you're subscribed.
All right, we have the Z06 all loaded up, and now it's time to embark back on our journey all the way from Massachusetts to Cleveland. But before we start on our journey, I figured it's a good time to mention that we are traveling around the United States looking for cool cars like this one to feature on our channel. So if you have an enthusiast vehicle like this that's extremely dirty and you want to see it featured on our channel, email us here or send us a DM here of what you have, where you're located, and we might just come out and clean it 100% for free, or maybe we'll buy it and give it away. All right, we are back with the Z06, and I think I speak for everyone here at WD. We are all exhausted. We got back at 1 a.m. last night, got very little sleep, and we're back at it to get this thing cleaned up so that we can get ready to give it away. And we have a lot of work that we're going to be doing on it. Obviously, first starting with removing all of this rust. And it's really funny because we're used to working on rusty cars, and I guess you could call this a rusty car, but it's a completely different kind of rust. This rust powder is all over the whole entire car, but thankfully it's going to be very easy to clean, and the paint underneath is nearly perfect.
My hopes is that the paint will be perfect because this Z06 in yellow is my favorite color on this car. If you remember back to the late 90s, early 2000s, all of the racing cars from Chevy of the Corvette were usually this style yellow, and I think it is perfect for its character. I like it a lot better than the red ones, to be completely honest. Now, I'm no C5 expert, but this car does have some key differences that you can see from the outside. Although small, you can tell from a distance. One is this rear vent that goes actually to the rear brakes and helps cool down the brakes. 2 up front, this Z06 badge, which obviously wants you to know it was the big boy. It had 405 horsepower, which is 55 horsepower more than the standard Corvette, which doesn't sound like a lot from today's standards, but back then, 55 horsepower is kind of a lot. And actually another thing is, the roof of this car is a hardtop, unlike the hatchbacks that other Corvettes came in.
I believe they did that for the rigidity because obviously this car was meant to go much faster and gets its speed much quicker than the other Corvettes where they had the T-tops or they were convertibles. So that was built this way to give it rigidity. And personally, I'm a hardtop kind of guy. I'm not really a convertible guy or a T-top guy. So this is sweet. And I kind of like having a trunk instead of a full hatch in the rear of my Corvettes.
A couple other things I know about this car is that some of the glass on this car is actually thinner to save weight. And the exhaust is made out of titanium to also save almost 20 pounds off the car. So this was really focused towards going fast. It was no joke. Although, if from far away, you would never know it from another Corvette.
Another thing that surprised me is that there is no designation on the rear of the Corvette that states that it's a Z06. I would think that maybe there'd be like a little cutout, you know, like a painted cutout that says Z06 Corvette to kind of distinguish it from the run-of-the-mill, you know, base model Corvettes, but you wouldn't be able to tell on the road that this is the big dog. With all that being said, this is definitely our craziest barn find ever. This is a Z06 Corvette with under 23,000 miles. We're never gonna find another one like this, and we're gonna give it away. But before we give it away, obviously we have to do all the detailing and all the mechanical work and make sure that it's safe and sound to drive and to give away.
First, we're gonna get started on the wheels. And what's cool about this video is that all of our products you see us use to clean this Corvette will give you a chance to win this Corvette. So whether you buy tire cleaner or wheel cleaner or both, you will have a chance to win this Corvette. Now we got these wheels looking pretty darn good with our wheel and tire cleaner, but we do notice that there is some damage on these wheels right on the edges. And you know what? We can't give a car away like that. So our buddies at Quest Rim are gonna help us out and we're gonna refinish these wheels so they look factory new.
So as you guys just saw, we just added new products to our WD Auto Supply lineup. We obviously have our OG products that we launched WD Auto Supply with, but now we've introduced new microfiber options from the Rag Company. They make some of the best microfiber towels in the world. And so we have our window towels, we have our wash mitt, our interior towels, and my favorite, the drying towel. And look how big this drying towel is. You only need one towel to do your whole entire car. It's so soft, it's not gonna scratch your vehicle. And the color matches our new Super Slick sealant perfectly. And guys, when I say that this is the best ceramic sealant on the market, I swear to God it is. First off, it can work as a drying aid or a standalone product. You can either spray it on your car after you're done washing the soap off and rinse it away and have all that beading action you just saw on Brent's R8, or you can use it as a standalone product and work it into the paint. It leaves your paint feeling so smooth. It smells amazing. I hate being selly. It's actually very hard for me to like say, oh, you should buy this. I swear to God, if you buy this, you will not be disappointed. I've actually been using this sealant for the last 10 years. It's the best product. I use it on the paint, the glass, the trim, wheels, interior door jambs. It seriously is like a do-it-all product. I don't like using dressing on the interior. I actually use this because it has UV protectant as well. If you're gonna give us a chance on any of our products, please check out Super Slick, because I swear to God, you will not be disappointed in your purchase. And to round out our new detailing lineup, we have WD Auto Supply Glass Cleaner. It's aerosolized and it's ammonia free, which means it's safe for any window tint that you might have on your car, or if you accidentally get some on the dashboard or any other plastics in the car, it's not going to stain it because there's no alcohol in this product. It does an amazing job of removing streaks, and it smells pretty nice too. So with all that being said, right now, this is all live on the website. We have brand new bundles and packages for you guys to choose from. And if you purchase anything on the website right now, you get a 30 times multiplier on your entries, which means if you spend $1, you get 30 entries. If you spend $100, you get 3,000 entries, which is a great opportunity to win that 2004 Corvette Z06 with only 21,000 miles on it. We have worked so hard to bring all this to market. I promise if you purchase anything from us, you will not be disappointed. Go check it out now. But now let's get back to the Corvette.
Now we're gonna start the pressure washing process by using our pre-wash to lift up all this rust and dirt off the top layer of the paint so we can safely pressure wash it away. And we were gonna vacuum it off first safely, but we tried and it was stuck to the paint. So we felt like using the pre-wash was the more safe option here.
All right, now that the car is completely washed, what we are left with is all this iron deposit that had been falling on it from that steel roof that had a leak. And so all of that iron actually embedded into the top layer of the clear coat. And that's where our iron kryptonite is going to come in. And you guys are gonna actually see what iron kryptonite was designed for. So usually you're looking for little orange dots that you can find usually in the rear of the vehicle as you drive. There's kind of a wind current that goes underneath the car and then hits the back of your bumper, and that picks up everything from the road and kind of smacks it into the rear of your car. But in this case, we have some crazy big deposits that we're going to use iron kryptonite to break down.
Hold on. Before you spray it on, I noticed something on the car left over that I thought was kind of ironic, and I wanted to point out to you. So I want you to come over to the hood, look in the middle, and what shape is that right there?
Looks like a Stingray. This isn't
kind of ironic. I know it's not a Stingray, but Corvette, Stingray shape.
Hey, pretty cool. I will say that's a very unique rust stain. It's one of the most unique rust stains I've ever seen. But what I'll say is, what makes a Stingray Corvette a Stingray? Because we've worked on a bunch of C3 Corvettes, and some, I believe, before 74, maybe 75, are considered Stingrays, and the other ones are just considered Corvettes. I don't know what the difference is between the two cars. So what makes a Corvette Stingray a Stingray, and what makes a Corvette just a Corvette? Let me know in the comments below, but let's get back to the iron removal. And one thing I'll say about our iron remover is that most of the time, iron remover smells like farts, but ours smells like cinnamon. The fart smells pretty nasty, so we tried very hard to make sure that this smelled nice so you guys enjoy using it. But we're gonna go ahead and let this sit and have it break down all that iron, and then I'll come back with a clay mitt and agitate it and hopefully be able to pull that whole entire stain off without even polishing. So the iron kryptonite has been sitting for about a minute, and you can see this thing is littered with iron all over the hood. Obviously, we still have that big rust spot that was over here. The doors, the mirrors, the windows, the roof, everything on this car is covered with rust. Oh my gosh, Brent, come look at the back. This is the most iron that I've actually ever seen on a vehicle that hasn't had some kind of brake failure. Sometimes when calipers stick and people don't change their brakes when they go bad, it basically roasts the whole entire rotor, and you can see like these big orange marks all over people's cars. Being a car that didn't have a brake issue, this is insane. So what we're gonna do next is we're actually gonna rinse off all the iron that has already been lifted off the vehicle, that's already kind of turned purple, and that way we can respray it with iron kryptonite again, and then we'll go ahead and clay it. That way we're not rubbing iron into the clear coat and making more work for me when I have to polish.
All right, let's get this hood open. You know, I always loved how the Corvettes do this, but a part of me doesn't, because I feel like it's kind of hard to work on. It just looks cool, you know?
It does look cool. When I was thinking about doing an engine out, God forbid this engine's locked up and we need to do an engine out or a brand new engine, do you just take the hood off or do you drop it through the bottom?
That's a question for Adam and not me, because I'm not sure. But the only other cars that really lifted like this were like the old BMWs, right?
Yeah, they lifted up, out, and then
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this. But I do like the design. At first glance, really not bad. It's much better than I could have expected. I think the only real remnants of mice is this little patch from the heat shield up here, and it's barely really chewed up. So I'm sure there were a couple rodents running around in there, but I don't see wires that are chewed. I don't see any. Oh, what's that?
What is that? I don't know. It
Looks
looks
like a spider poop.
No, is it one of those like a spider?
Oh, it is. I can
mold
see all
things?
the legs. Yeah, and he just mummified.
Zoom in on that, bro.
That's crazy.
This power plant is what makes this car special. This is not like a regular Corvette with an LS1 engine. This is the LS6. So the LS1 motor usually had about 350 horsepower. This LS6 produces about 405 horsepower with the same displacement. So I'm not too sure how Chevy worked their magic to do that, but I know that this car is substantially faster than a regular Corvette. When this thing was brand new, it cracks the quarter mile at about 12 seconds at 117 miles an hour. This car is 21 years old. Even today, that is monstrously fast for such an old car. I mean, this is a performance monster, really. I can't wait to see what this thing sounds like when it fires up.
Agreed. One thing that I just realized, which is blowing my mind, because when I look at this car, if I see this car on the road, I'm like, okay, this is a 10-year-old car. In 4 years, this car will qualify for classic plates.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because if I see this, I'm like, oh, it's a Corvette from 8 years ago, 10 years ago. You know, when I was 16, when I was 19. We're getting old.
You're getting old, dude.
We're getting old. Let's go ahead and degrease this engine, clean it up, and then we'll move on to the interior.
All right, moving on to the interior of this Z06 Corvette. And I love how Chevy wasn't too boastful about this being a Z06. Yes, it does have a little Z06 badge on the dash with a 200 mile per hour speedometer and the Z06 badge on the seats. But besides that, there's nothing screaming at you that this car is special, even though it is very special. This interior is in rough shape. There is a lot of mold going on, and we will have to address that to the max. We're gonna make sure that this car is in the best possible shape before we give it away to one of you guys. So stay tuned to see everything that we do to this car. But while I'm in here, let me explore a little bit, because I did take a lot of stuff out while we were with the owner, but I wanna see if I find anything else in here. I know that there was some stuff that's super gross in here. There is some stuff in here. This is probably the grossest $1 bill. Oh, it's actually two $1 bills stuck together that I've ever seen. I want to get a mask on. I want to get this thing cleaned up and get it ready for one of you guys. So let's get these seats out of here and let's get started with the carpet.
Now it's time to put the car up in the air, and this is where the real fun begins. And right as we were going to do the undercarriage, we got a call from our guys over at Quest Rim that we could bring the wheels over and get them refinished. So this is where some of the fun started. As you can see, these wheels have some pretty bad curb rash, and Quest Rim offered to help us fix them for free. So when one of you win this car, you get the absolute best quality OEM wheels possible. Now, Quest Rim offers two main types of cosmetic repairs. They have touch-up curb rash repairs, which you'll see in these clips, and then full restoration where the rims are completely stripped and powder coated. And rims that are being touched up can have the tires on. So what Quest Rim did was swap the new tires on the rims before the repairs were complete, but didn't inflate them so that the bead remained broken down during the repair, ensuring the whole lip was addressed. These guys are seriously the best. They took great care of us, and like anything, the key is quality prep work. And once the wheels are prepped accordingly, a color is mixed to match the current color, and once sprayed and outgassed, a clear coat is applied. And then after the cosmetic repairs are completed, the tire is then inflated and the rims are balanced out using their Hunter Road Force Balancer. For touch-up repairs where the metal damage is deep enough, they can spot weld material as needed, which requires not having the tire on, but that was not the case with our rims. And Quest Rim also has a CNC machine, so they can machine rims as needed, and again, they can powder coat wheels for a higher quality finish, or simply finish them in any color you want. Thank you so much to Quest Rim for helping us out with these wheels, and if you guys need anything done with your wheels, go check them out. I left all their info in the description below.
All right, so as you guys can see, I'm wearing my yellow jumpsuit to match the yellow Z06 that I'm about to clean the chassis. First impression underneath here, it is beautiful.
It's super nice, yeah.
Flipping perfect.
Yeah, we just did the wheel wells. That's why there's some water dripping down right now. But as we can see, this thing's in awesome shape.
Mike, what would be something that if this car had a lot of miles or if it had spent maybe more time getting, salt deposits underneath, what would rust out really quickly?
For sure the sway bar would have some rust on it. I'm not sure if this is made out of fiberglass like the older cars were or not, but maybe this. You would just see more rust in general all over this and some oxidation on even this aluminum. But nothing on this exhaust, because as you can see, it says GM titanium right there from the factory.
It's a titanium exhaust?
Yeah.
OE? Wow.
Yeah.
This thing probably sounds great.
I mean, I can't wait to hear it. Look at the big pipes going all the way to the front of the car.
Yeah, what are those, 2 inches?
Those got to be 2 3/4 looks, or 2.5 at least.
Yeah, and I'm just impressed, especially after it sat in that wet garage for so long that the only thing that you see any level of rust on is a couple pieces of hardware here and there have a little bit of surface rust, but
yeah, the uncoated stuff. I mean, but that's just typical of any car. You buy a brand new car 1 year off the lot, those kind of bolts sometimes look like that, especially in the Northeast.
my brand new truck, all the bolts look like that underneath. But all right, we're gonna go ahead and degrease, and well, by we, I mean me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
I
ahead
did the wheel wells, all right?
I'm gonna go ahead and degrease this and scrub everything, rinse it down, and then it's time to try and get this thing started.
can't forget to torque the wheels down to spec for the future burnouts that the giveaway winner is going to be doing.
All right, so we're making our way through the interior of the Corvette. Adam just finally got the steering wheel unlocked. And then while we figured that he had some of the parts removed, that we should go ahead and remove the rest of the interior to pull the carpet, because we were planning on replacing the interior parts with new ones that we bought, or rather used ones that we bought, because we wanted to put OEM parts back into this Corvette. But all the parts in this Corvette are in incredible condition, and every time we got parts in, they were in worse condition than the ones that were in this car. For example, the seats. So this is the original seat that came out of the Corvette, and it did have some mildew on it, but this is the one that we purchased on eBay. We bought 2 seats and they were $960. That's a lot of money for a seat that looks a lot worse than the 20,000 mile seat. So what we plan on doing is we plan on making sure that this car is completely mildew free. But if that's concerning to you, we are also going to be including another set of Z06 seats, as well as another set of carpet that, if it's of concern to you, you can install. On top of that too, just to make sure that no matter what, if you win this car, you have one of 2 options. You can either take the car, or if any of the mildew is of concern, even after all the work that we do to this, you can win $30,000. So you either get to pick the Z06 Corvette or $30,000 cash. It's your choice, but we want to make sure that this car is obviously completely mildew free. We actually have a mildew test kit, we have mildew remover, we have our ozone treatment, and we have a chlorine treatment that we are going to be doing to this car to make sure that it is 100% mildew free. That way there should be no concerns. But even if you are concerned, we are going to be including 2 new seats, new carpet, as well as new door cards. And I'm not really worried about the door cards, to be honest, but there's just a little bit of like rust forming because of the moisture that was inside the car on the speaker grills. So we got brand new door cards with new speaker grills. Now with that being said, it's time to start dismantling the interior. And so first we have the armrest that's coming off. And like I said, the one that we had purchased that we were going to replace, this was awful. It was totally trashed and we paid a lot of money for it. So we sent it back because this is flipping perfect. Next piece that we're taking out is the center console. We're going to clean not only the top side, but underneath, but it looks pretty good, to be honest. And so now we're going to remove the carpet.
All right, so we have the Corvette stripped of every piece of carpeting that was on the inside, including everything in the rear and the front. And Mike is over there prepping it to make sure that it's completely clean and mildew free. But in the meantime, we are going to go ahead and give it its first of 2 ozone treatments. So we're going to let this run for about 45 minutes. What an ozone machine does is it uses oxygen to the 3rd molecule to create ozone, which will disinfect and kill anything that is organic or alive in this car. So we're gonna go ahead and shut the Corvette up and let it run.
And now we're gonna go ahead and clean every surface with a mildew and stain remover to get any remnants of mildew off.
All right, everyone. I wanted to give you an accurate description of what we did to these carpets to make them safe, what we would consider safe. So first, we vacuumed the carpet off, then we torn the carpet, and we did a full extraction on these carpets already, but it's been a while since then, and we couldn't find new carpets, so we're going to work with what we have. The first thing that I did was I have sprayed all the carpet of this car with a water vinegar mix that was at 50-50%. I used about a gallon in total over the entire carpet. And what I did was I saturated the carpet and let it sit for 1 hour. After that, I'm going to be using Starbright, the mildew and stain remover that I used also on the interior panels of the car. I'm going to mist it onto the carpet, drill brush it. After I drill brush it, I'll be using our extractor to extract all this out. All this carpet will be sitting to dry outside of the vehicle for probably about 3 days or so before we reinstall it. That way it gets nice and dry on this side and the other side with the foam, and it gives the time for the interior to completely dry out.
All right, now it's time to ozone the car again for the second time. So I have the ozone machine running, and I turn the car on and have the HVAC system running as well, so that the ozone can go all the way through all the vents and make sure that any bacteria or mildew that is left in this car is killed. So we're gonna do that for 45 minutes, and then we'll pull it out.
And then we're gonna do the exact same thing with a chlorine tablet treatment.
I figure while the Corvette is on the lift, it's a great time to polish it. And I don't have all that much that I need to do to this car. The paint is in such great condition. There's almost no oxidation. The only thing that I see is a couple blemishes here on the hood. There is a light scratch here. It looks like maybe there was some dirt that someone rubbed in with their finger, you know, up and down. So I'm gonna polish that out. And then there is a little bit of etching. Maybe there was a bird poop that stayed on the hood for a little too long. So I'm gonna sand that out and polish it. But the rest of the car just needs a light one-step polish with a foam pad just to pretty much jewel it, make it that much glossier. It's gonna be an easy car to polish, and I'm super thankful for it. I just can't believe the condition that this car is in. It makes my life so easy.
And now it's time to finish up the car before Power and Performance Adam comes and gets it running again for us. So first we're going to use our tire shine, and then we're going to unveil two of our new products, our WD Auto Supply glass cleaner and our window towels. We've been using these things in every single video since we started YouTube. This is the best window cleaner I have ever used on a car. I promise you, if you try it, you will not regret it. And then we have Super Slick, our brand new ceramic sealant. We've also been using this since we started the channel, and it's the best ceramic sealant on the entire market. If you were thinking about trying any product from our entire line, this is the one that I highly recommend everybody watching this video gives a shot.
Well, we're getting rolling in on the C5 Corvette, and one of the first things I'm going to do here, well actually one of the first things I have done, was I removed all 8 of the injectors, sent those out to our wonderful friends over at Cleveland Injector Hospital, and they cleaned them. He showed me a video of it. One of the injectors wasn't even flowing at all, it was just dripping. Cleaned them up, and they all look mint. So we're going to get those back, and we're going to throw those back in up top. But right now, we're going to drain the oil out of this thing. That way we can get fresh oil and filter on the motor, and we're going to be rolling into some brakes next. Try not to make a huge mess. Looks alright, a little bit dark. But it has been sitting for 14, 15 years now, and we don't know how many miles on the oil change at the time. As you can see when you look up here on the intake, the fuel rail covers are off, the fuel rail is out, all the injectors are out. That's because they're down there at Cleveland Injector Hospital, and they're getting all cleaned up. While I had it out, I pumped out all the old gas with the factory fuel pump, just connected the line right to where the fuel rail goes. Pumped out about 8 gallons of gas. It's completely empty now and ready for new. Motors all put back together, oil change, injectors, everything. We want to fire this car up. First, make sure we don't have any vacuum leaks. See how the motor's running. see how the oil pressure sensors do and what the oil pressure of the motor is. Before we go any further, we just want to kind of double check all the work that we've done under the hood. And then after that, we're going to get into some steering column and brakes.
And the final thing to do are the brakes.
All right, the Corvette is back on the ground with the refinished wheels, the brand new rubber. All the components that we were replacing are replaced. The whole interior is put back together. Everything is cleaned. And now it's time to start it and drive it for the first time. Mike, you ready for this?
Yeah, here we go.
Let's hear her start. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. That's what I like to hear. This thing sounds great. So we don't have the nice pretty engine bay covers back on, but everything is put back. The lights just popped up. Do that again. The lights just popped up. Those look fantastic. All right, Mike, I think you're all clear. Let's see if she'll move. Oh yeah. Nice and slow. Oh ho 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 ho. Look at that.
I think I'm gonna buy one of these. We'll drive nicely.
You have to let me know what you think, how it's driving.
It feels very strong.
How's the steering feel?
Dude, it all feels so solid.
Oh yeah. Whoa,
Dude,
yeah.
This car rips.
This thing does rip. For 2004, this is crazy.
I can't believe it's like,
Wow.
that feels really, really, really good.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It hugs too.
This thing is a riot.
I can't believe we're giving this thing away.
I know. I don't even want to, dude. I want to keep this car. Oh, dude, this thing's so cool.
For a stock exhaust, I mean, and you know what? It's loud enough to make you laugh and smile, but not loud enough to be a jerk to everybody.
That's because we were thinking about doing an aftermarket exhaust, but as soon as I knew that the Z06 came with a titanium exhaust from the factory, I was like, it's going to sound pretty good. No. This thing sounds excellent. It sounds perfect.
All right, guys, that concludes the Z06 Corvette video, and this thing is in incredible shape, and with only 21,000 miles, it's a true gem. And if you want your opportunity to win it, you just need to go to wdautosupply.com and purchase any of our detailing products or any of the microfibers or any of the merchandise that we have on our website, and you'll be entered to win. And right now, again, is 30 times entries on the whole entire site. So guys, don't wait. Head to the website right now, get entered to win, go and purchase something, and this could end up in your driveway. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.